Deep in the woods of Bellingham lies a cabin frequented by Bellinghaster and his sidekick Hammie.
Hammie, Lenny sent an email with a photo of a painting he did in the 1970s while living in Malta. Malta? Malta is an independent island nation in the heart of the Mediterranean just south of Sicily.
Wow, that's a cool old bus.
Why don't we do a Google Earth visit to Malta, especially Valletta? It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, you know.
Let's do it.
Type in Valletta, Malta. Off we go.
Off we go. Wow, here we are in the bus terminus in Valletta, Malta.
And look, modern buses.
But look, Bellinghaster, this YouTube video shows vintage buses that run from Valletta to Salima.
Would you like to see a vintage bus close up?
Sure.
A bus trip to visit the ancient capital of Malta, Mdina. Wow, that would be fun. First, let's Google Malta and learn some history.
Located 50 miles south of Sicily in the center of the Mediterranean, lies the Malta archipelago consisting of Malta, Gozo, and Comino. It is 122 square miles in area. Gee whiz, that is tiny. It has been occupied by Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs, the Knights Templar, France, and England. Before that, around 5000 BC, European Neolithic settlers arrived, mostly from Sicily. A significant prehistoric Neolithic culture developed between 3600 and 2500 BC, marked by the building of many Neolithic temples on the islands.
Amazing, Hammie. Then what happened?
Around 1000 BC, Phoenicians, an ancient Semitic maritime nation from the eastern Mediterranean, colonized the islands and it became a trading post. They called the large island Malta, meaning safe port.
Yes, the next rulers were the Carthaginians.
Ancient Carthage, located in present-day Tunisia, became an empire after being founded by the Phoenicians in the 9th century. They ruled Malta for 2.5 centuries. The Carthaginians, relinquished to Rome, controlled the Maltese islands after the Second Punic War in the 3rd century BC.
Gosh, what came next?
The islands became part of the Roman Empire. From the 4th through the 9th century AD, the islands were under Byzantine rule. The Arabs conquered the islands in 870 AD and dominated the islands for 200 years.
The Arabs were here for a relatively short time, but their influence on the Maltese language was profound. Maltese is the only form of Arabic to be written in the Latin alphabet.
That is interesting. In 1091 AD, Normans conquer the archipelago and it becomes part of Sicily until 1530. Yes, that was when Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, gave Malta to the Order of the Knights of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem in exchange for the annual gift of a Maltese falcon.
One Maltese falcon for a year?
Yes, the Knights got a sweetheart deal, huh? The reign of the Knights of St. John ended when Napoleon conquered Malta on his way to Egypt in 1798. In 1840, as part of the Treaty of Paris, Malta became part of the British Empire. Malta remained a British colony until 1964, and the Brits left their mark. During the Second World War, Malta played an important role for the Allies. Being a British colony close to the Axis shipping lines, Malta was bombarded by Italian and German air forces and was used to launch attacks on the Italian Navy. After the war, the Maltese people were ready for independence. Malta achieved independence in 1964. And joined the EU in 2004. Thanks for the brief history of Malta, Hammie. Let's stroll over to the Triton's Fountain, okay? Wasn't Triton the Greek demigod of the sea? Yes, this fountain was completed in 1959 and welcomes people to the capital city, Valletta. Valletta is the smallest capital city in the EU, being only 0.61 square kilometers. The architecture ranges from 15th century Baroque to modernism. The current city gate of Valletta was finished in 2014. Wow, that's quite a ditch. This, the fifth city gate, is in a minimalist architectural style. The first gate, Porta San Giorgio, was built in 1659 by Grand Master Jean Tresot de Valletta, after whom the city was named. The second gate was built in 1633 and was demolished in 1853 because it was too small. The third gate was built in 1853 under British rule. It was called King's Gate, or Porta Reale. The fourth gate was built in 1965 and demolished in 2011. A new modern Parliament building was built as part of the renovation. Another major renovation at the time, all by Italian architect
Penzo Piano is Piazza Teatro Jar. Once the stately Royal Opera House, it unfortunately took a direct hit from aerial bombardment by the Axis powers in 1942. It is now a popular outdoor performance venue.
Okay, Bellinghaster, let's go on a walking tour of Valletta. A short stroll up Republic Street brings us to the Church of St. Francis of Assisi. On the corner of the church is a statue of St. Francis holding a simple cross. A coat of arms above the entrance is that of Gregorio Carafa, the 61st Grand Master of the Order of St. John.
Okay, Hammie, let's check out the interior. The original church was built in 1607, but didn't last a century. This structure was completed in 1681. Take a look at the ceiling mural. It depicts St. Francis's ascension into heaven, with arms extended on a cloud above Assisi.
Above the narrow streets are many balconies. A typical Valletta greengrocer. So Bellinghaster, just ahead is the co-cathedral of St. John. Why is it called a co-cathedral? Because it shares the seat of the Archdiocese of Malta with St. Paul's Cathedral in another Maltese city, Mdina. Built between 1572 and 1577 and dedicated to St. John the Baptist, remodeled in 1660, is one of the finest examples of high Baroque architecture in Europe. Holy cow, Bellinghaster!
I totally agree, Hammie. The entire marble floor is a series of tombs of about 400 knights and officers of the Order of St. John.
This is the main altar.
Now let's go to the oratory, or place of prayer. This painting, The Beheading of St. John by Caravaggio, is considered one of the best paintings of the Baroque era.
Another masterpiece by Caravaggio in a new wing of the Co-Cathedral Museum.
Also on display in the new wing are 29 tapestries depicting the Eucharist by Peter Paul Rubens.
The Knights of St. John, depending on their origin, had their own chapel in which to pray. For example, this is the chapel of the League of Provence.
Chapel of the League of Auvergne.
Chapel of the League of France. Chapel of the League of Aragon, Catalonia, and Navarre. The painting above the altar is by Mattia Preti. It is titled St. George Killing the Dragon. Awesome! It's time to move on and see more of Valletta, Hammie. All right. Next to the cathedral is the Great Siege Square. This bronze monument commemorates the victory over the Ottoman Empire in 1565 by the Knights of St. John. Across the square is the stately law courts, built in 1965 to replace the previous law courts, which had been the original Auberge de Verne. A block away is Palace Square, or St. George Square. This is the main guard, where the personal guards of the Grand Master were housed. In 1814, the neoclassical portico with the British coat of arms was added. Isn't that the Grand Master's palace across the square? Yes, it's closed today, so let's Google our way inside. This inner courtyard is dedicated to Neptune, Roman god of the sea. The clock tower courtyard has a clock that is claimed to have been brought from Rhodes in 1530 when the knights arrived on Malta. The many corridors are painted in a Baroque illusionistic style. Many tapestries adorn the staterooms, including a complete set of the 18th century French Gobelin tapestries. Frescoes by Italian artist D'Alecchio depict 12 episodes of the Great Siege of 1565, during which the Knights of St. John defeated the invading Ottoman army. The armory has on display weaponry from the 17th and 18th century. Located in the heart of Valletta, the palace was completed in 1571 and served as the residence of the Grand Masters of the Order of St. John for many years. It became the governor's palace under the French in 1798, and then under British rule from 1800 to 1964. After independence in 1964, it became the office of the President of Malta. Wow, Bellinghaster, what an interesting history. Now let's walk up Republic Street to a really neat fort. On our right is Casa Rocca Piccola, a private museum dating from 1530. And to our left is the Toy Museum housing toys from the 1950s.